There was a time when GoldenEye 007 could have ended with James Bond visiting his fallen foes in hospital as a way of undercutting the game's violent content. GoldenEye is coming to Nintendo Switch in the near future, and its violent content will seem tame compared to modern games. GoldenEye launched during a time when Nintendo still had not fully embraced violence or blood in their games, with censorship being rife on their older systems. It's not as if Nintendo didn't have any violence on the Super Nintendo, as the system received a Doom port, as well as games like Killer Instinct. Nintendo had more of a problem with copious amounts of gore, though this diminished over time. The best example is the SNES version of Mortal Kombat, which replaced the blood and the gorier finishing moves, while the SNES port of Mortal Kombat 2 retained the blood and gore due to the poor reception to its predecessor. Nowadays, Nintendo will remove adult games from the eShop, but it's far more relaxed about content than it used to be. GoldenEye was developed in the mid-90s, which was during the shift in Nintendo's policies. GoldenEye 007 game director Martin Hollis told The Guardian that the game was much more violent at one point in development, but that the team decided to tone things down on their own. There was a major figure in Nintendo who wanted the team to go further, as Shigeru Miyamoto had suggestions about the direction of GoldenEye that contrasted greatly with the violent tone of the James Bond films, especially during the era of Pierce Brosnan. Nintendo had problems with the violence in GoldenEye 007. GoldenEye had no input from the movie's director, Martin Campbell, but it still loosely followed the plot of the film. This wasn't always going to be the case for the game. According to Hollis, one of Miyamoto's suggestions was for the game to end with James Bond visiting his enemies at the hospital and shaking their hands, in order to suggest that Bond wasn't actually killing them. As a compromise, the game ends with a credit sequence that portrays the characters as actors, which matches with it being a movie tie-in. Miyamoto's original ending would have been a little silly, especially considering that Bond can blow up enemies with rocket launchers. The actual game ending does a better job of downplaying the violent aspects of the game by portraying it like a movie. There is a GoldenEye remaster coming to Xbox systems, so maybe the developers will throw in a hospital ending as a nod to Miyamoto's suggestion. Source: The Guardian.